Oh, the balloons that sing. Good afternoon, everyone. We are so happy to be in your presence again today, and we trust that we will have some good answers for you about rewrites. My guest this morning is Mrs. Dr. Melanie Jacobs, somebody with tremendous amount of experience. And she's the one that you want in your corner when you have to prepare for a rewrite exam. Myself, I've been in teaching for nearly 40 years, happily retired at the moment and wonderfully, excitingly busy with dorkk work that I really enjoy and appreciate so much to be part of. Melanie, please tell us about this important next step for somebody who has not been successful with the first exam.
Thank you, Petra. And just to introduce yourself, you are Petra Burger.
Yes, I am.
And Petra, as she said, has got this huge background, experience, expertise, and passion. And that's what we find when we source teachers to come and help with dorkk. We want teachers with passion. And Petra is one of those teachers. But today we're focusing on the rewrite. So what is a rewrite? And many of you might feel, I failed, I didn't meet the requirements. So there's different categories of reasons or motivations why you want to rewrite. Yeah. So we aren't going to have a look at that today. It might be that you did not get into the program of choice when you wanted to apply to the university. They said your marks isn't good enough, or you in yourself feel you want to do better, or you simply did not make it at all. Yeah. So I call this a second chance.
Yes,
a rewrite is not a failure. It is a second opportunity to go and prove that you are capable and you know the work so that you can go further from where you are. Grade 12 is just one obstacle, and if you pass it, you're on to a next season. You go into studying or work, wherever you want to go. I don't like gap years, but if you don't know what you want to do, take your gap year. But please just get the marks or the results that you want in terms of your matric.
Yeah, I think it's very important to understand that some people get on the highway and they go fast and they know exactly where they want to go. Others have to go the side routes, but eventually you will get to where you need to be.
Yes.
And this is just one extra thing that can help you to get where you want to be.
Guys, and from the start of this conversation, please don't have guilt. Yeah. Guilt is not going to get you anywhere. You might feel today you did not put in more energy than you should have. You were distracted. Oh, yes. And remember, the biggest excuse now is COVID. Yeah. Everybody in the world had COVID. So please don't say it as if we've got to excuse your behavior or the inputs or the energy that you put in because of COVID. Yes, we acknowledge that. But you know what? You're on your own now and you've got the second opportunity and put COVID behind you and put school behind you because you've done with school and start grasping the whole concept of this is a second opportunity. What a nice chance for me to actually prove that I want to pass.
Oh, absolutely. I think it's so important to put the stuff behind you that you cannot do anything about and focus on what you can do and what you can achieve now. You mustn't think about yourself as the victim in the situation. You are the conqueror, and you conquer something by doing every day a little bit of the right stuff consistently.
Right, I think we've set the trend now. No excuses. We're going to do a rewrite. So there's two ways of doing a rewrite. If you wrote matric last year and for whatever reason you want to do a rewrite, you should have gone to your school already. I think the due date of registration has passed, and you could register yourself to write the the supplementary exams. And actually yesterday we got the timetable. It starts as early as May, which gives us a bit of March, April, and 2 weeks in May. So it's really not a lot of time that you've got left now. So that's the one opportunity to rewrite whatever subject you want to. That's free of charge. It will be at the school. So that's the one category. The other category is like I have a learning center, and in my center, like many of the centers over the country, it's nationally, we register with SAST. SAST is the South African Comprehensive Assessment Institute. And many of the schools are SAST centers, but I have a rewrite center, and I'm not advocating for my rewrite center. As a matter of fact, I've closed my registration, but there's a few other centers that can still accommodate you, because the SAST registration date is the 31st of March. Okay. And then you will be writing not in May, but at the end of the year, which will be in November, exactly as your previous exam. So that's one of the opportunities that you can actually have a look into and do a little bit of research and write then with SAST.
Yeah, I think SAST is a wonderful tool to use to do this if you can't get access at your school.
Okay, so when is either in May, June, or at the end of the year? It depends on your ability to get whatever access to a exam, and obviously in terms of time, will you be ready in June, or would you like some more time? So I think we've clarified that there's different ways to rewrite Matric.
Yes, and it's an opportunity that you can really take and run with. It's not the seven subjects, it's maybe one or two. So you've got extra time, you've got extra energy. Just go for it and just make a difference in that area of your life.
So let us have a look, Petra, at how will my preparation for this exam be different to the one that I already had. Yeah. So you had a school, whether it was a digital offering or a contact situation where you actually went to school. You had a teacher. The teachers have a plan, so they plan and structure your learning, and as we call it, they scaffold it. Now you're on your own. So if I'm a student now, I would firstly have my own plan.
Yes, that is so important, because if you don't plan, you're not going to get anywhere.
So I've read a few pieces on successful studying, and it's interesting. Everybody says you have to have discipline. Now, in your case, guys, you need self-discipline. Yeah. Your mom and dad, your grandfather, whoever took you to school isn't going to take you, well, they might drop you off to write the exam, but they will not stand at your door and say, please study, please put down your phone. So that discipline is very, very important. The second aspect, other than discipline, is routine. Yes. Now, if I'm a student writing, let's say, for instance, mathematics and physical sciences, which is the two subjects that my center offers, you need to practice. This is Nadal. You need to stand on that tennis court, or Ronaldo. Do you think Ronaldo got those 3 goals the other night without practicing? Yes, he's got talent, but he practices hours every day, even if he's this champion. So you've got to sit on a chair, guys, at a table. Yes. Not lie on a bed. I've seen many of my students lying on the bed, and then they read through the definitions and have a look at their phone. And then I want coffee, and then I start unpacking my cupboard because it's not neat. I find distractions and things that keeps me busy just to take me away from my studies. Yeah. So I think the important thing is to have a routine. Firstly, get up early. Successful people, every book will tell you, they get up early in the morning. Make your bed. People who wants to sleep all day, well, you know what? You will sleep all day. It's interesting. It just brings that thought, and just now it's your behavior.
Absolutely. And it takes so little time to get caught up in these negative behaviors.
Yes, it is. So make your bed, go and have a nice bath shower, get coffee, go and walk outside, come back, and then have your plan. For the first hour, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm planning per theme. Now, this is quite important. When we find students preparing for a supplementary, well, it's exactly the same for any other exam, we find they work on past papers, which is not entirely wrong. I mean, you've got past papers, it's all over the internet. You can access it from every web page. If you just put past papers, you can get all the past papers as well as the memoranda or the marking guidelines. Yes. The important thing is that's not the way to prepare. If I take my subject, which is physical sciences, you'll open up a physics paper and there will be one question on momentum, one on vertical projectiles, one circuit question. That doesn't prepare you. No. You need a theme. You've got to take algebra and in algebra calculus and engage with calculus a day, 2 days, 3 days. Maybe selecting those questions in the past paper, concentrating. Guys, the plan is to actually see what can I do? And where do I still need? What can I not do? And as soon as you've actually identified, and I make lists. I've got a list. I don't have to spend time on this and that. But you know what? I need more attention to this. I need to focus on this. And that's the way that you plan. This is a game plan. You're actually going into this exam with a very clear, defined game plan. This is where I'm going to start. Those will be the themes that I can do. And these I'm going to leave a little bit later. Now, remember, you're rewriting. You might be a candidate who wants to get into a medicine program. So you need to get 80s or 90s. You will have to prepare everything. If you're a student who got 30s or 40s, I think have an achievable goal. Say to yourself, I need 60 or 70. Then in that case, if you've defined those areas where you don't really know what's going on, or you know you're not good with that, just ignore it. It's taking time. And focus on those areas where you can actually score marks. Yes. And that's as I said, the game plan going into this rewrite.
Yes, I think it's so important to put achievable goals for every day so that you can have a sense of success, not only at the end when you get your results, but during your preparation time. Just if you manage to do 5 little bits today, but you've done it well, and you have figured it out in your mind and you've got it, then good for you. So don't think about what you cannot do. Think about what you can do. Focus on that and set goals that's achievable for you, that will help you to feel, I can do this.
I just want to reiterate where we started off with blaming and guilt. If you sit there now and listening to what we're saying and thinking, this is my mother and father's, it was their mistake. Yeah. It could have been your grandfather who selected the wrong grandmother. I mean, you can take this down in centuries. Yeah. You could sit there and blame the teacher. Yeah. You know what? It was COVID. The teacher didn't know the technology. Guys, I need you now to be a grown-up. I need you to make mature decisions. And mature decisions is taking everything onto yourself and saying, how can I tackle this problem?
Yeah. What difference can I make? It doesn't help to go there. It doesn't help to go. It might relieve the situation a little bit if you think in your mind all the negatives and everybody that you can blame. But you know what? This is life. Life is not easy. Everything is not going to fall into your lap. Life is not fair. Things are going to happen. But what are you going to do about it? And even if you can just find that little bit of strength, emotionally, physically, spiritually, to just do the right thing every day for you now in this situation. That is huge, and you have to give yourself credit for that.
Now, in terms of that support, I mean, you've got to feel healthy. Go out and walk a little bit, go to the gym. And I know in times like this, we like spending more time at the gym. Please, guys, you've got to focus. Your job is now, if you apply to any firm on any form, your job allocation would be either learner, which means you are learning, or it would be student, which means you are studying. Those are the two verbs. Are you doing that? No, I'm practicing at the gym, I'm swimming, I'm binging, I'm doing other things. So that's very important. Now, in terms of your support, you cannot do this alone. It is a lonely place to be. So either you have a tutor, either you've got a teacher, you can go to your school. I know in many instances, teachers will say to you, come around, I will help you, I will assist you. But then we've got dorkk.
Absolutely.
I mean, dorkk is this online lessons with expert teachers. It's teachers with more experience than any school has, because I think there's about 700 years of experience in this dorkk team. And there you've got your lessons. And if you identified the areas that you need more support, just go to dorkk, click on those lessons, and it's more affordable than extra classes. And I don't want to say it, but I have to. If my kids who comes to my classes actually goes into dorkk, they will see me there doing lessons. So it's important, guys, to have this on your desk. The support, either a teacher, have the work on your desk, a pen and paper.
Absolutely.
Have you seen people reading a newspaper? You see them, they don't have a pen. They read the newspaper. If you ask them, what did you read just now? They'll probably give you 2 or 3 headings. If you sit with a pen and you sit and make notes, even if you've done it last year and the year before, this is new notes. It's new stimuli to your brain. Your neurons, your synapses now get a new message, and you are repeating and repeating and repeating.
And that's absolutely the way to go. Guys, I want to say something about dorkk's material. There's no frills, no fuss. It's the pure content. And you will need to sit down and listen, not with your earphones on music and all of that. Listen intently. Have a pen in your hand, have paper, make notes. Something happens with that process. And now is the time to really, ek gaan nou iets sê wat ek nie moet sê nie, maar gat op stoel.
Yes.
Bum
on chill.
There is no other way of really getting success.
Okay, and with that, guys, you cannot go into a bedroom with a phone. A phone is the nicest distraction that you can find.
Absolutely.
Put it in the kitchen somewhere else. Go there if you want to see who's messaging me, what's going on in the world, because I'm isolated, I'm in my own little world. But a phone is not any conducive item that you want to sit with when you are sitting with your piece of paper or your work, your content, and your pen in hand.
Okay, but unless you have your dorkk on your phone.
Exactly. Well, then you're watching that.
Then you watch that. But try not to be distracted with anything else.
Now, let's have a look at the papers. Now, if you've looked at any website, you'll see there's supplementary papers and then there's final papers. So the one is November and the other one would be May, June, July, depending on which exams you are writing. So you might ask, should I just work through supplementary papers? Should I work through November papers? My answer, yes, please, all of them. All of above.
Yes.
Now, the examiners, when they sit, and I've luckily been in panels like these, they actually compile the 2 papers simultaneously.
Yes.
It will be a balanced paper. It will have difficult questions, complex questions as the November one, but it will also have a lower level or cognitive level, as we say, a level 1 or 2 questions. Study the theory. They will ask definitions. Absolutely. Study application. They will ask applications. So it's not going to be easier and it's not going to be more difficult. No. Petra, you've been a moderator for many, many years.
Yeah. No, the standard of the November exam and the supplementary exam is exactly the same. So the one is not less challenging or more challenging. So in a way, you prepare for the supplementary or the rewrite in the exact manner, if you've done your prep correctly, in the exact manner that you did for the November exam. That's not going to change. So don't go into this thinking, oh, it's going to be easier. No, just put that thought completely out of your mind. It's exactly on the same level. So if you write IEB, the cognitive levels will be a bit higher. If you write the other exams, it will be
according to the caps. Yes.
There will be more lower level, or what is the word that I'm looking for?
The cognitive levels. Yes. So, but it's not entirely easier. There will be a balance, and that's what you are saying. Right, guys. I'd like to focus now on the board where I've written the 5 C's, and this I found in documents and websites where I read what is the ingredients for success. So I've written down 5 C's, and you can find it, and you can just go into any website and say 5 C's and you'll come up with the same. Now the first C is competent. Now that's actually the final C. So let's start at the bottom. I'm going to first start with consistency. If you do things consistent, it becomes behavior. Now, let's take a person like Rafael Nadal. We know when he starts his Dean, he pulls his pants and he wipes his face. He's doing that, and I know because I've participated in sport. You've got to have a consistent approach to what you're going to do. And by doing those little things it calms you down and it makes it consistent. Yeah. So he's doing exactly the same thing until he feels calmed down. Now I'm focusing. Yeah. Lower his shoulders, breathe out and in. And all of those little mechanisms that he's using is just doing exactly that. If you remember, all the people in athletics, in soccer, there's a little ritual. I actually watched a rugby game on Saturday and I saw this guy kicking at the post. And I thought, gee, that's funny things he's doing. What did he do? He had successful kicking to the goal because he went through all those steps. Your studies is exactly the same. Yeah. Consistency. Start the question there. Know exactly what second, third, and fourth steps you're going to do. If you sit and study, this is the consistent space. This is what I'm doing. So we've done consistency now. The next very important C is commitment. As I said, you are a mature person. And moms and dads, let them grow up. Yeah. This is their exams. Yeah. Take the commitment and say, I am committed. I am going to pass. That's my goal. It's written on the board somewhere. I'm going to achieve a 60 or 70 or 80%. And then go and sit bum on seat and study. There's nothing else you can do. There's no instant drive-through that I can get all these knowledge and content into my head. People don't like studying. Why? Because it's not nice. If everybody loved studying, everybody would sit here with a PhD. Yeah. It is not nice. It is commitment. Thirdly, you have to be credible. You have to be credible towards yourself, but also the content. Do justice to a subject like math. Guys, if I go out and say to somebody, I passed math in grade 12, it means something. Somebody else will say, I got a distinction for physical sciences or advanced mathematics or Afrikaans or English, because those are as difficult in my respect than anything else. It has to be a credible qualification or whatever you're doing here. It has to be credible, and you've got to be credible. The fourth is the confidence. I have many students coming to me who lost confidence. Now, we have to acknowledge that in many cases, the schooling system in the world, it's not a South African problem, doesn't really breed confidence. It is in actual fact measuring, giving you a mark, and sometimes showing you cannot do this. So it's important that you go through questions, get the marking guidelines, have a look after. Please, guys, you cannot get confidence by watching the question and watching the marking guidelines simultaneously and say, I would have done it that way. No, that's exactly how I would have done it. Do the question, take the marking guidelines, and then go through that. And by doing that and giving yourself a mark, can you just imagine what a mark of 80 with your name on it means? You gloat. You feel, I am in control. I've got 80% for this paper. Yeah. So confidence is so important. If you don't have confidence, nobody can give you confidence. Sit on your seat, study, do more, repeat. You will soon be able to parallel park a car. Yeah. You will soon be able to hit a tennis ball. How? Repeating. So confidence does not come with genes. You don't go to a hospital, have a baby, and this baby comes out of there with more confidence than mom and dad. And yes, mom and dad can build confidence, but it mainly is actually in your own body, your mind, and the mind is very strong. And then finally, you will feel competent. Competency is one of those things that we feel ourselves. Walk out of the station where you just got your license, your driving license. You feel, firstly, I'm competent. You have confidence. Guys, you are credible. They're actually letting you drive on the roads. You are committed and you've got consistency. Please think about these 5 things. Take them to heart. And then, guys, inspiration, perspiration, activation, stimulation. Those are verbs. You've got to work. Repeat. Work hard. Be a successful student. And the second opportunity will be so valuable. In such a case, you will, in 40, 50 years from now, sit around the table and tell your grandchildren, you know what? I also got a second chance. Somebody granted me an opportunity. And I took that chance and I did something valuable with that.
And guys, what is important to understand is the difference that you are going to make in this process. Nobody else is going to do that for you. There are many people that can help, dorkk, teachers, whatever. But at the end of this responsibility rests on your shoulders. And how you are going to tackle it is going to make all the difference for yourself and for your success in the subject. We wish you all the best. We wish you lots of inspiration. We wish you that I'm going to do this. You can, but it will have to be a little bit at a time, with confidence, with consistency. Remember, you are human, so you can make mistakes. Consistency means to acknowledge, I made a mistake. I'm going to try again. And I think something that I heard just this week is this is a process that we actually have to fall in love with. I'm going to try again. I'm not going to give up. And we wish that for you. And we really hope that this will be a wonderful second experience for you, and that you will learn lessons that will help you in life, not only in your rewrite for the exams. Thank you, Melanie. Thanks for all the wisdom that you shared with us. I feel I can just sit at your feet and listen to you. Maybe you should become a pastor or a preacher.
But we've helped many children and many students. I've worked at the university for many years where we actually offered a second opportunity.
Yeah.
And guys, take that. Do something valuable with it because it's really worthwhile.
Yes.
And if you need to know more or have some support, go on dorkk.online, write us a little note, and we'll get back to you and support. We're really there to help you. You are the focus of the dorkk.online platform.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Bye.